Let me share my screen.
Here's a Zencaster for you. I wish I could just break out the screen you're sharing. I wish I could break that out to its own window. I mean, it lets me do full screen on that.
It's just a tab.
What do you mean it's just oh, that's right. I got to make this a separate tab. Glad
Okay.
you reminded me of that. What do you mean it's just a tab?
It can be its own separate window if you want. It's just a tab.
No. No, for me it's not. I have all three images on the same tab.
Oh, yeah. What do you want? How do you want to see it?
It would be nice to be able to see like you and I, like how we are, but I would like to take your window, your OBS window, and put it into a different window, and be able to make that bigger.
Oh, you can do that. Here.
Huh. Nope,
You can
nope.
You can.
It's not that big of a deal. It's fine. Okay. I don't need to see it.
That's just the.
That's just your share.
Yeah. Oh, there's like a view. Oh no.
It's asking me to join. Don't worry about it. It's not that important.
Yeah, I'd have to do it as a scene. It's not a big deal. I could do it. It would just take a few minutes.
So that's actually one of the things that was confusing me. We can talk about it on the show though. Let me retweet here.
How bad? Bitrate lag. Super bad.
What's the bitrate flag?
Lag. Yikes. Something is very unhappy.
Oh, an OBS.
Chrome, you son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. Discord. What's up, Discord? Discord, where are you? Dude, have you looked at our Discord lately? We've got like a lot. We've got like the who's who of PHP in our Discord. We have 243 offline, 33 online. Man, it's funny. I remember when it was just the three of us. Discord. What's up? Thinking about writing a bot to stream tweets while we're recording, streaming tweets into our Discord that are hashtagged, keep it ugly or PHP ugly, to encourage people to tweet while we're streaming. Mm-hmm. How are we sounding?
Give me 1 second. I'm still. Let's see if shrinking this down helps.
Periscope still streams. It's so weird. That service died like 2 months ago, and it still streams on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like they just didn't turn the servers off. They just have the servers running in the closet somewhere. Oh, Zencaster, start recording. What episode are we? 245. 245. We have got to be one of the longest running PHP podcasts. Maybe not longest running, but most releases. I don't know. I feel like longest running too. It's been like 5 years, 4 years.
It was
4
like
years.
Roundtable. Roundtable's before us.
Yeah, but how many episodes does Roundtable have?
I have no idea. I mean, I'm sure we've got the most episodes.
They haven't recorded in 3 years, and they stopped at 81. Ugly PHP is still beautiful when it works. You are so right, Charlton.
All right. I'm obviously going to have to buy a new CPU, but aside from that...
Give me a little instinct going here. There we go. Give me a little sandwood incense burning. All right, well, I guess I don't need to be logged onto the server anymore. I was watching Top. We can talk about it on the show, though. All right. We all good? We want to talk about anything before we get started?
Nope, we're live, baby.
We're live. Do it live. We're going to do it live. You're listening to episode 245 of PHPUgly, your one-stop shop of complaining and just irritating voices and noises for PHP. I'm your host, Eric Van Johnson, and with me tonight is Tom's cat and Tom Rideout.
That's Circadian.
Circadian?
Yes.
So cute. Just you and I tonight, Tom.
Yeah, John bailed out for his family or whatever.
Whatever. Like what? Family?
Yeah.
What?
Weird. Very weird.
Jeez. Guys' priorities sometimes. I tell you what. So we had fun before the show. We talked about it a little bit last week and the week before. Last week, things totally went sideways on us with our new streaming setup.
Yes.
We decided to stop using Skype. Or we've been wanting to ditch Skype for a while, and you have found this project that a developer built during the pandemic, and it seems to sort of worked for us at one time, and so we did it. And last week things kind of got away from us. I still don't think we know what happened.
Yeah, I think the service went down while we were using it.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. So we're back on it, though. We're back at it. But before the show, we had some fun because this is an open source project, and downloaded it. I spun up a DigitalOcean box real fast and deployed it. And I thought it was sort of working, but I guess it wasn't. What happened on your end?
Nothing. I got no video out of it whatsoever.
Oh, okay. So probably something wasn't set up right.
Something.
Maybe we need to keep playing with it.
It's not entirely clear what, because I think it is a client-to-client video program. It's not actually doing anything through the server, except for negotiation.
I mean, that might have been the problem. I saw my video, but I never saw you log into it. So I don't know.
I didn't see my video, and it didn't say I was logged in with anyone.
Well, and so that I was completely confused because when I first fired it up, I ended up in that whatever that interface you're in, that producer's interface, and I didn't even know what I was supposed to be seeing. So like none of it made sense to me. It wasn't very intuitive to work. So I couldn't figure out like if that piece was working or not.
Yeah, it needs the delicate touch of a UX designer.
Viable clan member. It is called Video.Ninja. Is the software we're using to stream now instead of Skype. So it's a little open source software that runs on a web server, and as Tom says, it just negotiates client-to-client video calls. It works pretty well. I mean, it was really easy to set up. I did nothing to set it up. I just spun up a web server and threw it on a web server. That's true. It didn't work.
Don't say it was easy yet.
I was worried because I wasn't sure. Like, I figured if we had our own dedicated one, it wouldn't matter that much, but I still wasn't sure how much hardware to throw at it. So I spun up like a medium size, like a 2 CPU. I don't remember how much RAM I gave it, like 6 or 8 gigs of RAM box on DigitalOcean. But I was thinking about it, I mean, man, if this works, I should actually run it on my desktop is what I should do, because my desktop is huge. I mean, I've got like massive CPUs and RAM, and I got a graphic processor, and it's, so I don't know, maybe we'll try again.
Internet connection.
I got a gigabyte internet connection, man. I'm good. But I was thinking that the internet connection wouldn't matter that much because it's client to client. So I don't know.
There's my
dog.
Oh
yeah, I hear your puppy. You're not using your little blur background. I can see everything. Well, your kitty cat left.
Yeah, I think that's causing my CPU to hog out and die.
Well, let's jump into things. How was your week, Tom?
Busy. One of my children got me sick.
Oh, that was nice of them.
Yeah, it doesn't understand that it's not funny to cough loudly in somebody's face while sick.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. 17 years old. Not 6. 17.
Yeah.
So immediately got me sick that night and lost a Wednesday completely.
Mm-hmm.
Woke up for a meeting at 9:00, laid back down, and woke up at 7:30. But that did the trick. I was all better. So,
it's funny you should mention that, because after being in lockdown for so long, and not like interacting with other people, last week I went to a Padres baseball game with a friend from work who got tickets, which was still something I had sworn like a couple months earlier, like I don't think I'm going to go to a ball game. And then I ended up going to like two ball games, like almost back weeks apart. But it was funny how it worked out. Anyways, we went to the ball game. It was actually, the seats he had were great seats, but it was like crowded. Like there were people all around us.
Yeah.
I was feeling a little uncomfortable about it, but I didn't want to say anything. But I got the vibe that he did too, because like around the second inning, we got up, walked around, and then we ended up like, not the nosebleed sections, but we went up to a higher section where there was like not so many people sitting, and we could kind of spread out a little bit. But I did that, and then this past weekend was like Pride events here in San Diego, and our family participates in a lot of that. So went down there for that, and there were a lot of people. I mean, these things have a lot of people. It was like, honestly, like the most people I've been around in a very long time. And then of course, like Monday or Tuesday, I'm like, I'm not feeling great. I have no ability to fight off anything anymore. I was actually not feeling well on like Monday or Tuesday. I forget what day it was. And yeah, so I pushed through it. It was fine, but yeah, it was. People are getting sick again. Like people are catching colds and just not feeling well and all that other stuff. So yeah, it's interesting. We're getting back to normal, I guess. But
yeah, if back to normal means that people are being forced to go to work while sick.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, what else do you did you get any work done?
Code review. Lots of code review. Yeah, it's something that's it's never really been my strength. Just reading through someone else's code and understanding what the hell it's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So this week I am focusing on my patience and my readability or my ability to read and process. So trying to be very deliberate about my code reviews and not let things slip through that shouldn't slip through.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of that, a lot of big honking architecture projects, and I found out I will be going to the FinTech Con in Denver in September. I will be presenting.
What?
Yes.
What?
It's just a little product presentation. It's not a big like on stage with 100 people thing. Just showing off our product and the sort of functionality and how people can integrate it into their systems.
Is this the Citrix one? I'm looking up what FinTech is. You don't have anything in Trello. You gotta put Trello cards in, man.
I guess that is true. FinTechDevCon.io.
Wow, FinTech DevCon.io. That's a lot.
It is. It is a bit.
Mm-hmm.
FinTech being financial technology, and our product being
Fin, not thin. FinTech.
Fin.
Gotcha.
Financial technology.
All right. Now I see it. Boom. Throw that in Discord. Financial technology. So you're just doing a little product demo?
Yeah, doing a product demo. And then I'll be at the conference for the rest of the period, staying at a hotel in Denver, and
how far is Denver from you? Is it not close?
With my anxiety, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. And being at conferences in general, like, you can be there late talking to people. You don't feel like coming home.
It's the getting there process that's difficult for me. So, that's really what I'm focusing on. My boss was supposed to do the talk there, and realized he wasn't going to be back from his trip in time. So asked for volunteers, and me being the only person anywhere near Denver, sort of had to say, well, I'm willing to overcome my anxiety and agoraphobia to do it. So I put myself out there.
What's your where did you land on Lone Star?
Lone Star or Longhorn?
Longhorn.
I think Lone Star is done, isn't it?
Yeah. I think Longhorn. Wait, I don't know, man. Which one's which? Longhorn.
Longhorn. Austin,
Longhorn, PHP.
Midtown. Yeah. I will be actually getting that taken care of tomorrow.
So you're 100% going. You're committed?
I am committing myself to doing it, yes.
Awesome. And you said your company's down there anyways, right? So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. I don't know where I'm at with it. I keep telling the wife my wife has decided, that she's interested in going with me, which has been cool. Like within the last couple of years before the pandemic, she's taken more of an interest of going to conferences with me. And it's nice because these conferences are like places like we wouldn't necessarily go on vacation or visit, or not that they're not nice destinations. Like Laricon was in New York City. I forget where else.
Louisville.
She never went with me to Louisville, but it's nice because it was like we had a reason to go somewhere kind of random, and she'd come with me. So she's expressed some interest. I'm like, that's fine. I mean, like Austin is kind of cool. I'm not sure like where this conference is in relation to like downtown Austin. I've been like looking at the map.
It's right in the middle.
Is it though? I don't think it is. Maybe it is. It looks like everything's a little bit of an Uber ride to get to.
Oh,
But
the Brewatorium.
I was telling her, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going. Like, I'm not really, I'm interested in going. Like, I want to go see friends and I want to get with people again, but I'm not there yet to get on the plane. And like, she's just like, it doesn't matter. She's like looking for things to do in Austin. I'm like, well, maybe I'm going.
Well, I could convince my wife to go with me, and we could have me and you and the Rebeccas, and have something to really regret.
Yeah. So I'm probably 70. I'm probably 70-30 now. 70 going, 30 not. Like, if anything just slightly goes sideways, I'll probably pull out. But I don't know.
That is a level of dedication that I haven't heard in a long time.
If
the slightest thing goes wrong, I am failing.
There are more reasons why I want to go than just the one reason I don't want to go, which is I don't feel like getting on a plane with a bunch of people right now, which is really the only reason I'm not interested in going. There's so many pluses. First thing, Longhorn is
right now, but it's October.
I know. That's what I'm telling myself. I'm like, like I didn't think I'd be going to baseball games today, like this last week. There's no way I thought I'd go to baseball games, and I did. And it was a little uncomfortable, but it's fine. And sure, I got sick like a couple days later. Who knows? Whatever. But I think I'll get over it. I gotta stop being such a puss and just go. But.
Well, and I think the airline crowd is more vaccinated than the baseball crowd.
Yeah, perhaps. I was never a friend. Never a friend. I was never a fan of flying. I'm not afraid of flying. I just don't like the.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I hate it.
I don't like the inconvenience. It's like, even for me, we talked about it in the past. When I used to drive out to Arizona all the time, friends would say, well, why don't you fly out there? And we did that once. We did fly out there. So for me to drive out to Arizona was about 5 hours. For me to fly out there was about 5 hours, and I didn't have a car. And I had to put up with a bunch of idiots on planes, because although the flight is only about an hour flight from San Diego to Arizona, you got to get there early. You got to get through security. You got to get, you got a taxi. You got to, about time you actually get in the air, sure, the actual flight is only an hour, but the prep and landing, and you still got to get to the airport, and it still ends up taking like 5 or 6 hours, where I could just throw on some podcasts and be driving. And that's like the part that frustrates me. I just get the whole, taking off your shoes and crap and going through security and all the crazy, like, to this day, can somebody please explain to me? I understand there are exceptions like Southwest, but in general, like a regular airplane where you buy a ticket to a seat, why does everybody get up and start crowding the entrance when they start boarding? It's like, nobody's going to take your seat. Just relax. Everybody relax. You're going to get on when you get your seat's still going to be there. Yeah. I don't understand it.
People are very dumb.
Oh man, it drives me nuts. So that's just stuff I don't have time for.
The thing for me is that the schedule's not out yet. The CFP just ended. The call for papers just ended. So I don't know what's going to be there. Mm-hmm. But for me, like I said, my business is already in my company is already in Austin. And
that's what I was saying. Like,
2 years,
questioning the conference isn't even one of the things on the plate for me. Like, I have no question. The conference itself is going to be great. Speakers are going to be great. Hopefully, people come. Like, your normal like crowd of people that you run into at conferences show up. But I'm not doubting the conference. I'm just doubting my ability to tolerate the general public to get to the conference.
Take a train.
I totally would take a train. If there was a train that went from here to Austin that didn't take like a week to get there, I would do that. Trains are fun.
Yeah. I want to see.
But
I'm curious now. I want to see how long that actually is going to take.
so there's not a main line. I've looked at this before because there's like 3 or 4 main lines in the U.S. where you can take a train, and there's like one on the West Coast. There's one like through Texas, Oklahoma, Louisville, or Louisiana, all those states. The one actually in Texas. Like if I was in Texas, there's actually a rail line you could take that is pretty expansive, like where it takes you. The one here in California, it runs up and down the coast. I heard you can take it up to Washington State. I don't know about that for sure. But and then there's of course one on the East Coast, and there was one more somewhere else. But they don't really like overlap that well. Because I even looked at taking a train from San Diego to Arizona, and I forget what it was, but it wasn't easy to do. It was like a 2-day trip or something.
Yeah, I've done a sleeper car from San Diego to Texas, and that was fun. But I was
Oh, really?
I was much younger though. I was like 16 or 17.
Oh. So did it only take 1 day, or?
Oh no, it was a 3-day trip.
Oh, it was okay. Yeah, it was a few days. Yeah, that's what I remember.
I think it was 2 days, 3 days, 2 nights.
Yeah, but I mean, and nowadays, I mean, trains have Wi-Fi and nice, cars and
Bar service.
Yeah.
Chris Charlton was asking about PHP 7.4 only has active support for 4 more months. Are you freaking out?
No, we've pushed to 8 in a lot of places, so
Really?
we're actually pretty good. Yeah, we're 7. I mean, I guess our biggest client is going to use the bump, but we're actually working on a big upgrade for their Laravel framework and everything else. So, including their database. So 8 will probably just fall into that scope as well. Matter of fact, it has to fall in the scope if we're in the latest Laravel. So yeah. So
and
no,
the latest Laravel will be PHP 8 minimum. So that's I believe January or February.
The next Laravel 9. Well,
yeah.
Right. The current one is still 7 complaint. I don't know if it's 7 or 7.4. I don't know what the minimum 7 is. I think it's 7.2 and 8. But yeah, Laravel 9 will just be 8. And yeah, you just gotta stay on top of it, man. Gotta keep moving forward.
I'm excited for some of these new features.
What are you excited about? In Laravel or PHP?
PHP. Enums.
Oh yeah, we talked about that last week, didn't we? Yeah.
New in initializers.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things is auto casting. Like this is in PHP 8, but auto casting
8.1, right?
8.1 is the new in initializers, but 8 allowed for automatic casting of properties in a constructor. So you can say private array customers in the the constructor, and it will properly initialize it. Read-only properties, pure intersection types. That's my big stuff. Fibers, which I'm not going to use, but I want to see people doing cool stuff.
I mean, supposedly the framework maintainers are excited for fibers.
Yeah, and they're going to be the ones that actually do stuff. Like they're going to introduce new products and new functionality that we're going to have to check out. Darling Data in Discord saying loving named properties. I'm not super on board with named properties, but I did see a use case for blade templates earlier today where you can call stuff like you can with CSS, where you just say border is 5 and background is red, and you can have method declarations that are designed for that. So, I mean, interesting stuff.
I assume it has something to do with the pandemic kind of lifting a little bit, but I've seen like people hiring now like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean the hiring blitz is on. If you're a new developer and you've been thinking about making that switch to become a professional developer, seems like a pretty good time right now. I don't know. I'm fortunately not in that position. I have to be interviewing places, but man, there's a lot. There seems to be a lot of people getting new jobs in development today.
It's a good time to ask for a raise too.
No, it's not. Nobody at Diego Dev should be listening to Tom. He's always get very poor advice. Please don't pay attention to. Yeah,
it is. That.
My week. I shared with you already on Slack, Tom. I can't actually talk about because I've been working on my secret projects.
Which you were supposed to reveal one of your 2 secret projects this week. So I'm going to hold you to that. At least give us one of the secret projects.
I can't. I actually have 3 now that I'm working on. Yeah. One's with Diego Dev. No. I almost leaked it hard over the weekend because the big one that I'm most excited about has a web component associated to it. And so I was doing some coding over the weekend and I got the bright idea. I'm like, man, I've been wanting to stream coding for a long time. I think I'm going to just stream this. This is fun. Like I was doing a bunch of refactoring. Like there was already a code base. I was doing some refactoring, moving things around. I was actually upgrading from like a Laravel. I don't know what it was now that I say it. It was early Laravel, like 5.7, 6 somewhere, like early to 8. I'm like, wow, this is so much fun. I need to. I'm going to stream it. And so I started pulling up Restream because I was going to configure it where I was streaming directly through Restream because I didn't want to have to set up my OBS. And then I thought about it for a second, like, what am I doing? Like, if I stream this, everybody's going to know what it is. It's like the name is all over the code. It's like there's no way around it. I can't stream it.
Does the name give something away?
Oh, it gives it all away. Like the moment the name gets out there, you're going to know exactly what's going on. It's but I did make some progress on it today.
Does it have anything to do with baseball?
No. No, as a matter of fact, if you really want to tease somebody, well, okay, John caught on because I do things through Diego Dev. So he caught on because some charges came into the company and does like I said, there's no way around it. Like the moment anything with the name hits any stream, you know what it is. It's no secret anymore. So John's caught on. John doesn't know all the details, but he knows way more than he should. Enough where I might have to kill him. That might be why he's not on tonight. I may have had to kill him, but I'll give you a bigger teaser. You really want to get frustrated?
Sure.
Somebody in our PHPUgly Discord, that's discord.phpugly.com. Somebody in that PHPUgly Discord is aware of the project and is now part of it.
Well, I already know who that is.
How would you know that? Who do you think it is?
I think it's Oscar.
Oscar? That would be a reasonable assumption. That's a good assumption, Tom. That's very good. It might not be right, but it's very good.
If it's not him, it's Michael Drinda.
Michael Drinda. Yeah, they're both in our Discord. You're very. I like your method of thinking. There is very good. Very good.
All right.
I will not confirm nor deny either one of those, but there is somebody in our Discord that when all this happens, we'll have to reveal who that person is. And there might even be 2 people in our Discord. I don't know yet. We got to see where things go. Like there are wheels in motion. Things are happening. They're happening fast, and they're slowing down, and they're happening fast. I thought for sure, like by this week, I would be able to mention this one because I'm so ecstatic about it. But I have to give it another week, and I think next week I should be able to say something. Because I've already started the next phase. Like phase 1, it's kind of is wrapping up, which was a lot of this technical mumbo jumbo and like reworking some stuff and things like that. I started phase 2, which is with some coordination and a few other things are happening. I think by next week, I'm hoping that I'm just going to let the cat out of the bag. And I swear to God, if I talk too much about it, it's going to slip anyways, because
keep going.
It's all that's been on my mind for like the last week. I can't. I so badly want to tell you who's involved, because there's somebody involved that's going to blow your mind, or blew my mind at least, and I can't yet. But it's coming. I promise you. It's coming, and I honestly think that especially our listeners are going to appreciate it a lot, because reasons.
Well, you don't have to sit through 4 hours of a podcast to find out what it is.
What's that? Honey Badger!
Honey Badger transforms you into a DevOps hero by combining error, uptime, and cron monitoring into a single easy-to-use platform. Stop wasting your time tailing logs and deploy with Swagger. Visit honeybadger.io today to level up.
Oh, thank you, Honey Badger.
Thank you, Honey Badger. That was actually one of my... Honey Badger knows what the secret is, because they got implemented this week on my secret project. I'm using Honey Badger on my project. Yep.
Now, Charlton brings up Loki. Have you been watching Loki?
I have been, yeah. I'm
so excited.
Well, it's over. Did you watch the final one?
Just watched it.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah, it was good. It's still my favorite spin off, whatever these little Marvel small things are.
Well, but it's not just the spinoff, it's the introduction of the whole next cycle. Everything in the next 8 years happens because of this.
John, I'll give you 5 questions. John challenged me to 20 questions in Discord, and I will give Discord 5. Not you, John. I'll give Discord 5 questions to ask.
Oh.
And I will respond. If you're not in our Discord, this is why you want to listen live. This is why you want to be a part of this. I'm catching up on Discord. I apologize for that. I don't read Discord when I'm rambling, so what's Buttery saying?
Last week we had a story, and I hope that you had the chance to read it, because
good guess, Buttery.
We promised we were going to talk about it this week.
I read nothing. I have been buried in code. What was it we were going to talk about? This code. What were we going to talk about? I got stuff to talk about.
GitHub's new AI tool. The tool that
right.
helps you write code.
Yeah, we did talk about this. Some interesting things have come up out of this. So I had we actually earmarked, we put Trello the same article. GitHub's new AI tool doesn't violate copyright, says expert. I did not read this. I want to read this because I'm very curious about how it's not violating copyright of open source projects based on licenses, because I'm not sure how that's working, especially if now you're using open source code in your project and you don't know what the license is for that code.
Right.
So did you read this?
So yeah. So here's the issue at hand, is that the new tool called Copilot is trained.
I'll get to the questions for everybody putting questions in Discord. I promise you, I will get to the questions. So we'll get through this story.
So this new tool it's an AI tool that's trained off of all of the open source code that is on GitHub. And I can say first off that any expert saying it doesn't violate copyright is flat out wrong and shouldn't be calling themselves an expert.
Ah, okay.
Because what it is an untested challenge to copyright. Not that it doesn't violate copyright. It is a whole new way of interpreting copyright that has not ever been challenged.
Mm-hmm. I
So,
agree with that. Yeah.
so anyone saying that it just doesn't violate copyright is wrong. That's not how legal definitions work. And yes, I'm aware that this person is a former member of the European Parliament, but that doesn't mean they're not wrong. They're absolutely wrong. This is copyright law in the US states that it needs a challenge before it has a reasonable conclusion to validity. And the issue here is that there's nothing guaranteeing that large portions of already copyrighted open source code aren't just going to get generated for your code. So as you type, if it sees something it's done before, it's just going to paste that in.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's pasting in code from an open source project, then it's absolutely violating many of the open source licenses by not attributing the source.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the source might be AI, but the AI is trained off of actual licensed goods that this AI could not work without.
Mm-hmm.
So if this AI could not work without the open source code that it's referencing, then how is it not a violation of copyright?
Hmm.
That's the big question at hand, is that if you were to not allow GPL code to be read by this AI tool, and this AI tool failed to work as well because of that, then it is absolutely violating copyright.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's such a tricky thing. It's so funny talking about copyright in open source because it's a needed thing. Otherwise, companies would just abuse open source code and the work.
Well, and they do. They currently do. Amazon is a gross abuser of open source licensing and copyrights, where they are flat out selling servers that have copyrighted or GPL code on it that says you can't do that.
Yeah. This, however, I don't know if it's inherently evil, right?
No,
it feels like it could have good intention. Now, keep in mind who's behind it. You know, Microsoft is behind this ultimately. So I don't know how comfortable I am with it. And that was actually one of the things. One of the big Vim people I follow now is convinced. I've seen no evidence of this. I have not heard of this happening. Maybe you know more about this, Tom, because you're a user of VS Code, but is convinced that VS Code is actually reporting back code to whatever this AI is. Which
I believe that's part of the agreement for the beta.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow, that's surprising. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. That's
like
interesting.
If you're an early adopter, I think it basically says in bold print, early adopters are sending telemetry data back to us.
Yeah, there's a name for that in VS Code world. Do you remember what I used to run it too? Because it was bleeding edge with VS Code. I forget what it's called.
Automated reporting, whatever.
No. I'm saying the rolling release of VS Code. It has a separate name for it. It's VS Code rolling release. Or what the hell is it called? I forget what it's called. There's another name for that like nightly build of VS Code that you can be a part of. That's not stable yet. I said, I used to run it, way back when VS Code was very new, and like if you wanted the new features, you had to stay on the bleeding edge. But was it Insider? I forget. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing to me. I don't know, man. Yeah, it's very interesting. I do wish I do wish that GitHub or Microsoft would take a moment and say, okay, we see some concerns here. We want to be good people in the open source community. So if you add this to your README file, some string or some file to your project, like No AI or something, we won't parse that repo, because it's still kind of murky on what's how copyright's going to work in this situation.
Right.
It would be nice to see them step up and say, all right, until we get this figured out, if you don't want us crawling your open source project for this AI project, then do this. Put this file in your repo or whatever.
Well, and Darling Data brought up another good point, which is that there's concerns that
John's nailed it. John's nailed it. Insiders. That's right.
Oh yeah,
John,
the Insiders program.
And you did put that in the form of the question, so I'm going to count that as one of your 5 questions. Good job there. 5 questions.
There's a concern that this AI could propagate bad code across lots of projects, where you could be writing an authentication system that has an inherent flaw in it because of this generated code. And I mean, you stop becoming a coder and start becoming a code reviewer.
But that's always the argument, right? That was the argument. I remember back with Dreamweaver at the time, where you dragged and dropped your database connections, that writing bad code, which it was actually writing bad code. It was actually a very bad way of doing things.
Yeah.
But to today's IDE, I've said it. I've echoed a similar thing in the past, basically saying, I felt like I was being a weaker developer, taking advantage of frameworks, but taking advantage of some of the intelligence built into IDEs, because I wasn't teaching myself these patterns and conventions. But that argument is always going to be around. Now, this is a little different, right? This is not suggesting another way to format your if else statement. This is saying, hey, here is your if else statement, right? It's
here's a whole.
It's a little different. I think being a good developer is always going to be an art form, and there are always going to be good developers out there, no matter how many of these tools are in place to assist developers. But you're right. I mean, you're going to get some novice, I wouldn't even call him a developer at that point, who just starts to point and click and see what completes, and
they'll build that code. I mean, if autocorrect has taught me anything, this is going to be a miserable failure. But I'll go so far as to say a ducking failure. Nothing.
I feel like there should be something there, but what am I missing? Ducking?
Autocorrect. Big ducking failure.
Okay. Big ducking.
If
you're in our Discord, don't forget to suggest titles with bang title big ducking failure.
I want to try it out with a project from scratch and just start trying to feed it features and see how far it can go on its own creating a feature. Like if I just had it, if I was just writing the API for a blog, and I name a function add favorite or add favorite to user, I want to see what it does. I mean,
it surprise you.
Is it you want to hear little snippets, or is it actually going to write a full favorite system in Laravel?
So you want to hear something funny? I just made this connection just now talking to you. The kids and I used to have a game we played when smartphones were not as advanced as they are now. When they got their first smartphone, we would send messages to each other using autocomplete. All you could do is pick something from autocomplete, and it would create these crazy sentences. Didn't make any sense at all, but they would be funny as hell. You do that today, and it actually creates the sentence that makes complete sense. You know, it doesn't that. It doesn't take that long.
Those are the crappy versions of this AI. A good version of an AI could say what time it is and what you're normally doing at that time of day,
Mhm.
So it could figure out exactly what you're trying to type,
Yeah.
or like based off of the location of the person you're talking to. Like the AI that's out there is way better than it should be, and we don't get to see it. Like we get a little glimpse of it
Mhm.
with stuff like this, where GitHub is like, "Hey, an open source thing that helps you code," and the actual technology that's out there for AI is horrifying.
Mhm.
I mean, really. Although today Amazon did recommend I buy floppy disks, so it's not the greatest, but I don't know. Maybe in a couple hours something crazy is going to happen, and I'm going to need a floppy disk and not have one.
I couldn't even run a floppy. I can't even. Yeah, I can actually. I can play a Blu-ray disc because I have a PlayStation. If I had to play a Blu-ray right now, I could play a Blu-ray. But I have no CD players for my CD collections that I have. I have no, like, my last couple of laptops and desktop have no devices other than USB ports. I mean, there's nothing for me. Yeah.
And it's
All
all
right.
old style USB-A ports. I'm waiting for
Question.
the USB-C thumb drives.
Question number 1. I saw a question come in about my little passion project. I almost said the name. Holy freaking God. I can't believe I got it. This is going to be a bad idea.
Why? What's the name?
This is going to be a bad freaking idea. Okay, let's play 20 questions. We all know it's some Vim stuff. I used Vim. If that makes any difference, that wasn't a question though. I bet it's a secret TikTok dance. You do not want to see me dance, TikTok or anywhere else for that matter. Ubiquitous name, known by all developers. Pornhub. Good guess, Buttery. Here it is. Question number 1. So this counts as an official question. Is the project open source based? What would open source based mean? Is it built on open source?
Just is it open source?
Oh, is the project open source based? Yeah, say what's open. Parts of it are like the part I worked on used PHP, so the part I worked on is not released. Now I don't know why it's not released. Oh, but there are components that are open to the public. It's not really open source, but it's open. Yeah. So I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. As in there's not like anything for anybody to reuse currently. That might change, but there's no component of it that can be reused in another project or anything like that. Good question though. That's a very good question. I wasn't trying to dance around it. I just didn't want to lie. Like if you're asking me if it's using open source stuff, yes, we PHP obviously, right? What I'm involved with it, but yeah, it's not anything like that. No, I don't think I missed any other questions. So that's question number 1. You guys have 4 more questions to ask before the show's over, and that is it.
And you know who gets to ask these questions first?
I will give an additional 5 questions if you are one of our Patreons. You can go to our special Patreon channel in Discord and ask 5 additional questions, and I may or may not answer them throughout the week.
You shall be ignored.
So if you're not here live, if you're listening to the audio podcast and you're one of our Patreon members, you know where to go. There's a Discord channel specifically for you guys, and just go in there, ask the question in there, and I will respond. And we do have a new Patreon member to say hello to. Tom, can you call him out? I'll give you a hint. I'll let you know when the name passes. I actually reshuffled everybody, so I don't know where they're at in this list. Huh?
See, it's
yeah.
shuffled.
every week I run a shuffle on it, so it's never in the same order. I don't know why I do that. Does it make sense to do it alphabetically? Maybe it'd make more sense to do it alphabetically. But they haven't come by yet. They must have already gone by at least once though, because I've been talking long enough.
I'm looking. Jeroen?
I think Jeroen was new last week or the week before. DreamUp's been there for a while. Yeah, not DreamUp. Did I not add him? I just saw this thing go around.
Yeah, it just cycled.
I didn't I looked away, so I will tell you who it is. It's Sevia. S-E-V-I. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Sevia. Sevia? How do you say that? S-E-V-I? I'm sure what that would. So there was no. They should be. Did it not load correctly? Are you loading from a different place?
It's entirely possible that Dropbox did not update it.
Sync it. I did it way earlier because it has a whole thanks for being a new member next to their name. I'm gonna pop over real fast, make sure I actually put it in the right place. PHPUgly. And then we're just gonna CD to what's it? OBS, Tom's OBS. And we'll do VI Patreon. Oh. Hey, yeah, right. No, it should be there. .txt. He is definitely there. Well, he's definitely in Dropbox. Maybe my Dropbox didn't sync up. I don't know how to check that. I guess.
Thank you for subscribing, Chris Charlton.
Chris, thank you. Was that a Twitch subscriber?
I can't tell where all those. You set that up a long time ago, and I don't remember how it's set up at all. But
yeah, I think it's Streamlabs. I need to go to Streamlabs and look. Hello, I searched PHP and you guys appeared. I'm sorry to say that.
I apologize.
What's that all about? Do you guys hate PHP? Oh wow, you're new, Abdul. Oh. No, you are new to the stream. I'm sorry. Yes, no, we do not hate. We are.
Who could build such a long podcast hating PHP? That'd be ridiculous.
Darling Data. That's Darling Data. That Darling Data's our new
Sevi.
Our new Patreon. Sevi. Sounds like Chevy. Sevi.
And I definitely do not have it in my Patreon's text file.
Weird. I bet you that's on my end. I'll have to look to see if it's syncing up. Yeah, that's weird. I'll check it out and see what's going on. But thanks, Darling Data.
Yeah, thank you very much. And for those who don't know, it's patreon.com/PHPUgly to support us gallivanting around the world. That's not
That's what we do. We gallivant around the world. You know what, Tom? It's totally on my end because I just went to my Dropbox on the web and it is not there. So I don't know what's going on with my Dropbox. I will have to figure that out. Yeah. That is problematic because my new secret project, we're coordinating over Dropbox.
Oh, so maybe that's why it's just hiding it.
All right, I'll have to see if I can fix that before next show. Apologize for that, Darling Data. Okay, we got another question. Wait, we got another question before we go on. Okay. Is the project going to be a composer package others can install? I'm going to give you a pass on that one, Kevin, because I can't see how that could be true and the open source question be false. So I'm going to go no. The answer is no. And I'm not even going to count that as a question because I feel like it's kind of the same question. I think I kind of answered that. So no. Hate is another form of love when it comes to coding. You have to pronounce it. Thanks, guys. No problem, darling. Thank you for helping us with that. All right. What else we got, Tom?
I sent you a link last
dear.
week that I was hoping that you would see and check out, but I can already tell that you haven't because it's not on your list of things.
The NV Chad?
Yeah.
No, I'm fine talking about that. I thought it was kind of cool that you sent this. I even checked it out. Did you have a question about it, or
Well, you
what?
tell me what it is.
All right. So I've been talking about here. We'll put this one in Discord. I found let me find the repo again because you did the Reddit thing. I went and found the repo for it. Here it is. Let me put this one in Discord, and I apologize if you're on YouTube or Twitch. We have a bot that will post our Trello links for the show notes into our Discord channel, and I realize you all don't see them on those other services. So again, all the more reason to join us in Discord, which our Discord, we were talking about it before the show, is almost the who's who of PHP in the PHP community. Like, we have everybody in there. It's very cool.
Yeah. I don't think that bot is actually working for automatically.
It's been posting all night.
Maybe it just doesn't work for me.
Why? What did you move?
The NV Chad GitHub repo.
Oh, it only runs every couple minutes. So it'll get there. It'll get there in a second. It's not instantaneous. It'll just check in every couple of minutes to see if there's any new links to push. All right. So what is it? This was a thing with Vim back in the day. And it's actually one of the ways I really got involved with extensions and customization in Vim. And essentially, people put together, when it was Vim, they just put together these really well thought out VimRC files and post them on GitHub or whatever. And people would just kind of take other people's VimRC files and kind of modify them, right? Well, this Chad, that's why you got to put in show notes, Tom. Move over to show notes and it'll show up. So Tom shared with me a link to a repo called NVChad, and it's actually very similar to another repo I've been following called LunarVim. And essentially, it's kind of the same thing, except now these kind of base configurations have gotten very big and complex, and they have all these new kind of functionality in it. So NVChad and LunarVim looked very similar to me. I didn't install NVChad because I'm kind of going down the LunarVim path for my new NeoVim configuration. Both of these kind of repos lean very heavily into the new Lua workflows in NeoVim. So one of the things that differentiates NeoVim from just regular Vim is that it uses this Lua programming language to do things. And there's just been this massive push in the last couple of months of people rewriting a lot of old Vim plugins in Lua and making them faster, making them more modern. So with my new NeoVim plugin using this LunarVim base, I have things like that whole inline git blame thing that you saw on my PHP Storm once when we were doing a code share, Tom. You're like, hey, right. What's that? I want that. And we figured out it was some additional plugin I had. I have that now in my NeoVim. So I have that inline git blame on whatever line I'm on. I mean, they're just these really well thought out kind of starting points for NeoVim users to use. I don't know. It's so hard for me to say because it's been so long since I've been like a newbie with Vim. I don't know if these are a good place for new people to start out, but I really don't have a reason for it not to be. Like the one I'm using, and actually, I think NVChat did the same thing. One of the coolest features it has is that in Vim, so much of it is so much of the speed are these key bindings. So you're never reaching for your mouse. You're always everything has a key mapping to it. And with Lunar, Vim, and I think NVChat has the same thing. It has these HUD pop-ups. If you're familiar with SpaceMax, which was this Emacs Vim hybrid thing for a while, SpaceMax had this HUD pop-up where you hit your leader key, and if you didn't hit another key within half a second, it would pop up and say, okay, here are your options of other keys to hit, and here's what they do. It's a very intuitive kind of HUD pop-up. So you'd hit your, you might remember, it's like, okay, what was that key binding I used for Git status? Because I don't use it very often. You just hit your leader key and it says, okay, G for your Git stuff. So you hit G and then S for status, S. And it would just tell you, it would just walk you through it. So those are pretty good. So if you're new to Vim, it's pretty good. I guess it's not a bad thing. I thought, personally, I thought I would struggle with some of the new key mappings because I'm so old. I have a lot of muscle memory with how I do key mappings. I used to use a plugin for Git called Fugitive and all this other stuff, which had very, key mappings I was used to. But it hasn't been that hard to adjust. And the only reason I'm adjusting it, I try them out because I'm like, okay, do these make more? Are these more sane? Do these make more sense? And then if I don't like them, then I'll go back in there and customize them a little bit. But these are just good starting points if you are a Vim user. Now the Lunar Vim one, if we want to continue down this path, the one thing that attracted me to that is it has a plugin, or it has configurations, not even a plugin. It has a configuration for VS Code. So everything, all the kind of conventions it uses for your NeoVim, it kind of brings those conventions over to VS Code, including the HUD display. So if I hit my leader key, because I implemented it, I'm like, I got to see what this is like. So I spent way too long getting my VS Code up to speed because I just haven't ran it. It kept, I couldn't tell you how many freaking pop-up windows kept coming up. It was driving me crazy. But I installed this. One very interesting thing, and I actually have this on my list, and I will move this over to show notes. VS Code has a NeoVim plugin, but it's not a plugin. Right. It's not an emulator. It actually uses NeoVim, which is fantastic. So my Lunar Vim has a configuration for VS Code using this NeoVim plugin, and that whole HUD pop-up, it kind of does the same thing. It's if I hit my leader key, I don't know what you guys call the little Control P toolbar that pops up at the top.
Don't know what a leader key is.
Well, yeah, don't worry about that. But what do you guys in VS Code, when you hit Control P or Control Shift P, what's that little line that comes up? The little input,
the actions bar.
Action bar. So if I hit my leader key, the action bar will pop up and will propagate with all my key bindings. So it's kind of the same thing. It's not the HUD that pops up in Vim, but it's your action bar will pop up with key binding. So that's kind of cool. So of course, me being me, I'm like, okay, this is looking kind of cool. I actually played with VS Code for a good 30, 45 minutes before I closed it and never opened it again. But it was cool because it's
you had to take a break from whatever it was you were working on.
So of course I'm like, okay, if VS Code has a plugin for NeoVim, PHP Storm has to have a plugin for NeoVim. It kind of does, it kind of doesn't. It might be cooler, it might not be cooler. So there's a plugin which looks like it's at a very early kind of phase right now. There's a plugin for PHP Storm, which, if I'm understanding stuff, and I didn't bother to implement this one, but I probably should try it. It actually creates a bridge back in the direction I want, where it ties into PHP Storm and then bridges that into NeoVim. So you're in NeoVim and you're using all the functionality and engines in PHP Storm. So my understanding of it is like the auto completion and understanding your code base and all is being done in PHP Storm, and then it's bridging that stuff into NeoVim, which kind of looks pretty cool, but it's weird because you actually have to have PHP Storm running when you're using this bridge. So I'm like, well, if I'm going to have PHP Storm running, I'll just use PHP Storm. It's not that, whatever. Yeah, it's whatever it is. But I thought that was pretty cool. I'm telling you, this whole LSP thing is just taking NeoVim and Vim as well to a whole nother level. It's insane.
So we've got a good question from Discord.
Uh-oh.
Is the secret project a SaaS?
Is the secret project a SaaS? So I'm dealing with a couple of projects.
The one that we've been talking about.
The one that has me the most excited, no, it's not a SaaS. Not a SaaS. No.
Not a
nope.
SaaS.
Not a SaaS. Not a SaaS, not open source. That would make sense that it would be a SaaS. Yeah. I see where everybody's mindset is. That makes a lot of sense. But no, it's not a SaaS. Good question, though. Very good question.
Okay.
I love PHP, the only scripting language that generates you money. That's
so then I'm gonna throw my question out there.
Okay.
Is this intended to make money at all?
Is this intended to make money at all? Another very good question. Ideally, yes. I feel like ideally it makes money. It's not going to make money. Like, I'm not quitting Diego Dev. I'm gonna
state the same question again because I feel like you misheard me. Is it designed to make money at all? Is the intention of the project to generate revenue?
Oh, no. Good question. That's a very good question. Actually, that's an excellent question. That's a very good question. No. The intention behind the project is not to generate revenue, not to generate currency or money. It's not like a Bitcoin thing. It's not like something. I'm gonna give you guys this one. It's not something you guys can just, it's not true though. No, the answer is no. It's not designed to make money.
If it's not going to make me rich, I have lost all interest at this point.
I'm sorry. It's gonna make you rich at heart. You're gonna be richer.
That's
because you'll be happy.
That is an even lower amount of interest. Last time someone said I would improve as a person because of this, it just took effort and time. I was not happy with the person I became.
No. Think about me. All right. Think about the person I am and what sort of projects I get involved with. This is not a Diego Dev. I'll give you guys this. This is not initially a Diego Dev project where it's kind of falling under our umbrella now because of my involvement. But this wasn't created out of Diego Dev. This was a completely separate entity that reached out and got the ball rolling on this. So think about me. And think about the fact that this individual reached out to me and who I am and the type of projects I get involved with. See, that's 3 questions you guys got.
All I can think of is something Batman related.
That's a reasonable thing to think. It would involve Batman. I can understand that.
Like a
Does
Batman Vim theme.
Is it? So, that was actually one of the things. I used to have a theme called Gotham. Funny you should mention that.
I know 100%.
Is it some hydroponics thing or something? Buttery, deep cuts. Buttery pays attention. Buttery pays a lot of attention to us.
You can tell by the slowly slipping sanity.
It's that's scary. That he had no Buttery. It is not hydroponics. I wish it was. Hydroponics or aquaponics are my two little hobbies. My funny story. My aquaponics system has the plants don't grow anymore because we got this new kitten that think that the wet rocks are his toys, and so he jumps on top of the fish tank and starts digging up the wet rocks and then throwing them onto the ground. And he keeps like digging up the seeds and stuff. He's driving me crazy. I'm like 2:00 in the morning. You hear these little pebbles running across our hardwood floor because he's jumped up on my fish tank and got another stupid pebble out of there. I need to upgrade my aquaponics system to something outdoors with bigger fish. But no, it is not an aquaponics or hydroponics project, Buttery. And my hat's off to you for knowing that little tidbit of detail and bringing it up. That's very good. No crypto. It has nothing to do with crypto. I promise you. That's Tom. If Tom was doing a project, it would be Tom. I will tell you what the secret project is. Asynchronous PHP. That's not new. Abdul, asynchronous PHP is a thing. It's actually built into PHP, but there are frameworks out there. Dark Knight Interface. No, it's not that. I promise I'm not a stalker. He says, Aqua Crypto. Okay, you guys are just being kooky. I promise I'm going to tell you guys next week because I can't hold on to it anymore. I so badly want to tell everybody right now. I don't know why I don't. Like, it's not going to change anything, but I'm trying to do it justice. And as soon as I get a couple more pieces in place for phase 2 and get those confirmed, I promise you I'm going to tell it. I will make that my goal for next week that I can let everybody know. I will do my best to let the live stream know
reeling that back quickly.
No, I'm going to do my best to let the live stream know before I announce it through any other media. So tune in to the live stream, but I say I'll do my best because everybody involved is asking everybody else to keep this on the download, but there's no guarantee that's going to happen. There's a couple of people involved now, and there'll be probably 1 or 2 more people involved, and who knows? I mean, things leak all the time, but yeah,
it's Kang the Conqueror.
It's exactly. Don't spoil that show for everybody.
They don't even say his name.
To moderate chats. Kevin, seriously? We don't moderate our chat now. Are you serious? Oh, Jesus. All right. I feel so bad because I hate when people do this. I got way too excited when this happened. I actually got way too excited before I even knew about it.
He does not feel bad at all.
I mentioned it on the show before I found out what it was, and that I was just really excited that a particular person had reached out to me. And then I kind of doubled down on that when I found out what it was, and I couldn't tell anybody still. And then I'm doubling down again because it's another week has passed. So I don't like doing this. I'm adamantly against this sort of marketing, this isn't marketing. You don't understand how bad I want to tell you.
When we shut down the stream, the first thing he says is, I get such a high from doing this. This is better than black tar.
You just don't understand how badly I want, because of everybody in my life, especially the people listening to the live stream, are the ones who are going to appreciate it the absolute most. I know it. I'm confident that this is going to be right up the alley of people who we share our Thursday nights with. I feel this is it. But Yeah, I mean, it's not. I'm not gonna be. It's not like a new framework or a new plugin or anything like cool like that. I wish I was that smart. I wish I could. I could develop something that could touch everybody's life and they could implement it and makes their day-to-day world easier. It's not. It's not. It's not that. But I promise you,
It's gonna be such a letdown.
it totally is. Like, you thought the unboxing last week of some stickers was too much of a build up. This is gonna be like horrible. And I know it's coming. It's not gonna change for me. Like, I'm so jazzed about this. It doesn't change anything for me. But yeah, I just kind of I want to keep everybody's kind of expectations set correctly. So end of day, I'm gonna like it more than any of you all are gonna like. Oh, jeez. All right. That seems like we've talked about that way too long. I just can't wait to tell.
Well,
I can't
hey,
believe I didn't slip up yet.
brand spanking new, super secret projects that we can talk about. The Steam Deck. Did you not see this?
No. What's a Steam Deck?
The Steam Deck is Valve's new handheld portable machine that is able to run, the vast majority of Windows video games in their custom SteamOS, which is an Arch Linux distribution, through Proton.
Oh, so Steam has another gadget they're coming out with, huh?
Another gadget, and they explicitly in this gadget mention that the Steam controller was not great and they are sorry, but promise this will be better.
It looks like a Switch.
It has more buttons than God.
It does have a lot of buttons. Are those pads buttons too?
Those pads are high resolution. Are you
sharing this on the stream?
I just don't actually have a browser window share thing working right now.
Okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't looking at our.
There's a D-pad, 2 joysticks, 4 A, B, X, Y buttons, 2 thumb positioned mouse pads, like touchpad surfaces that are apparently high def, haptic, and support pressure sensitive clicks. Each side has a R1 and R2 trigger, as well as an underneath R3 and R4 trigger. And then it has menu, pause, and Steam buttons.
Wow. That's a lot of buttons.
Holy crap, that's a lot of buttons. It is a lot of buttons. It is running AMD's Zen 2 plus RDNA 2 architecture. And it's shown playing games like Control and the Kojima Delivery Man game, Death Stranding.
I don't know any of these. I'm not a gamer, so I don't know.
High-powered games. They need a lot of power. Now the screen is 1280 by 800 native, so it's not a super sharp picture, but it is an impressive unit. It is a very impressive unit.
No way to plug it into a larger screen like a monitor or television?
Absolutely. It comes with I think it has a micro HDMI. Oh no, it has a USB-C plug at the bottom, which allows for pass-through of HDMI, DVI, Ethernet, and USB-A.
Oh, it actually has a dock.
So
there's a dock too.
Yeah, the design on the dock isn't done. They're not showing anything off about that, but the unit itself will sell without a dock to start with. But you can use any, USB-C dock that you find in the store to add HDMI output to it. And the OS is a totally unlocked Arch Linux-based OS. You can just dump straight into the desktop and run whatever apps you want to if you want. There's no restrictions to it. And it's pretty. It's very pretty.
It looks like every other little game switch thing. It looks like a switch to me.
But with like 100 buttons and 2 touchpads.
It's not necessarily a good thing, man. It's like, more buttons, more buttons.
Obviously not a gamer here.
No, I'm definitely not a gamer. But I applaud people who have the time to do it. I envy it. I watch gamers on YouTube, but I just don't have it. They don't keep my interest long enough, and I'd just rather be coding. But yeah, it's definitely a thing. I think it's cool. Excellent.
Also,
Right.
I just like the name because Steam Deck is a reference to the cyberpunk decks that hackers used. They had like full computers that were basically just a keyboard modded with a bunch of stuff on them, and it was their cyber decks.
Yeah.
So any cyberpunk reference is good to me.
Any last minute questions? Yay, Arch. I have been thinking about going to Arch. I don't, because the whole reason I got a System 76 machine was to have support for the OS in the hardware. So I haven't, but Arch, there's a lot I like about Arch. And
so I mentioned this a few weeks ago that my Mac M1 was having trouble, and I was taking it to the Apple Store.
I don't remember it having trouble, but okay.
Well, it was crashing.
Oh, that's not good.
No, very bad. I took it to the Apple Store, and they said, yeah, everything's fine. The hardware's all fine. Everything looks great. If you want us to replace the software and like do a reinstall, then we can.
Yeah,
like, not right now. I'm not dealing with that. Got it home, did some more research, and what I found is very frustrating.
Do tell.
If you look up on Google OS X ultra wide monitor, there is a number of long threads talking about this issue.
Okay.
OS X has trouble with some monitors, mostly ultra wide monitors, Dell and LG ultra wide monitors. And somebody at some point identified that they were running DVI or Thunderbolt, DVI over Thunderbolt 1.4, and that when they downgraded to 1.2, their problem went away. Now, I'm not running DVI to my monitors. I'm running HDMI to my monitors. But my monitors do have an HDMI compatibility mode. So I can go through the on-screen display and switch it over to HDMI compatibility mode. And guess what?
It stopped crashing?
It's totally fixed.
Really?
It's totally fixed.
You know what? That's going to happen. Honestly, I had issues with my display with my Pop! OS system.
There are thousands of people on the Mac forums complaining of this exact issue.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, if you look it up, it's well, you'll get the whole result set if you look up OS X ultra-wide monitor. You'll see it immediately that there's thousands of people with this problem. But the exact dump in the kernel panic is Watchdog process timeout rebooting. So if you're having trouble with OS X, this isn't even an M1 thing. This apparently goes back to older MacBooks as well. If you're having trouble, my problem was solved by switching over to HDMI compatibility mode.
Cool. There you go. So yeah, those things happen all the time, though. I had a big problem with my Mac and Bluetooth for a long time when I was on the Mac.
Yeah.
Darling Data.
Garbage.
You say you're on Arch for the past 2 years. Are you on Arch? I keep bouncing between going to Arch and going to Manjaro. Manjaro, is that the distro that's based on Arch? I forget. I think Manjaro is it. No, that doesn't sound right. Oh, I gotta look it up. Is it Manjaro? Manjaro, yes, based on Arch Linux. Yeah. So I keep bouncing whether I want to go to Manjaro or Arch. I tried to do Arch once before, like way back a couple years ago, and it was just such a struggle. I mean, I was back to like I had memories of Slackware and installing Linux, like component at a time when I did Arch. So yeah, I'm just curious if you're actually using Arch, and if the install process has gotten any better, or if you're using a distro based on Arch, which I'm seriously considering. I have Manjaro running on a VM now, and I'm liking it a lot. Kevin, is the project enhancements to PHPUgly? Enhancements to PHPUgly? No, it's not an enhancement to PHPUgly. It doesn't.
We're already perfect. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, really, yeah. It's like doesn't. Unfortunately, it doesn't get any better than this, Kevin. I'm sorry. DisplayPort or bust. Down data. I'm on vanilla Arch, but I've heard of Manjaro as a great intro to Arch. Yeah, the only reason I look at Manjaro was for the installation process. Doing Arch at the time, last time I did it, was a little bit of a struggle. More than I have time for. My daily driver is an Arch. This is ButteryCrumpets in Discord for 6 years before I switched to Pop! OS. So yeah, I'm on Pop! OS. I'm curious about what you see the differences are, Buttery, because I really don't have any reason not to go not to stick with Pop! OS. I mean, I basically use a terminal, a browser, and that's like 90% of my work. A terminal and a browser. PHP Storm, I'll fire up Discord, Slack. So there's nothing like OS specific that keeps me. I don't know. I just like new and shiny things. So
that's true. But you know what? This episode's not new and shiny.
No.
This episode's old and done.
Beat down. Are we done?
I guess. I mean, if you're not going to tell us any secrets.
We're done.
Wait, hold on. Charlton is saying Windows 10 and 11 will run on Linux soon.
Announced Microsoft? Windows 10 and 11. What's that mean? Windows 10 and 11 will run. We'll have a Linux base OS. Is that what you're saying? I mean, if you're talking about VMs, that's nothing new. It can't be possibly what you're referring to.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to cite that reference, because I've been saying for years.
Oh shit! Dude, God, I don't know how I haven't leaked this. I'm not sharing my screen, so we're fine.
Thank God for the adult diapers.
Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna be able to make it to next week. I should just break down now. I feel like I should just break down now. Yeah.
You've made promises.
I know I'm super stressed about something because, like I said, Diego Dev is starting to get interweaved in this a little bit, and I'm worried about information leakage using other avenues within Diego Dev. So I'm telling you guys next week. I can't not tell you next week. I have to get this. I have to get this stuff lined up to let everybody know, because I'm gonna lose my shit if I can't share this with more people, especially you people. People who are there with me.
Let me.
Oh, that was close.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you for hanging out with us. Thanks again to all of our Patreons for supporting us. We do appreciate it. It makes things easier for us. You guys are paying for our hosting or of our
secret
streams
projects
and stuff like that. The secret projects. So do appreciate all of our Patreons. I was I keep saying Patreons because I was kind of hoping you'd switch to that scene, but you do you, Tom. That's fine. Seemed like a yeah. And Honey Badger.
I'm getting links to Linux and Windows here.
And Honey Badger for sure for sponsoring us. We don't give you guys enough due. Honey Badger is officially, or Diego Dev is officially a client of Honey Badger now, including this new top secret project. So yeah, Honey Badger is a thing. That's an example of like I keep worrying like somebody who has access to Honey Badger through Diego Dev might see the project pop up or something, or I'm super paranoid about this. So yeah, any real links here? ZDNet. All right. Well, that's your homework this week, Tom.
It's just a wine layer.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my scotch is out. That means the show is over. Episode 245 is in the books. I'm Eric.
I'm Tom.
Keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma
so
drop
can they still
a
hear me?
You can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric.
Awesome.
Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host name Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John.
Frank freaks me out every time I see him post in Discord. I think he's seen something that I don't want him to see. Frank, I'm watching you, man.
It's called ugly because it's
Frank
not
is a Diego Dev,
but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting. I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They're getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go.
Abdul,
hey, shout out to you.
I'll wait for the song. Abdul, if you're still hanging out with us, if you like this, think about popping into our Discord, discord.phpugly.com. We hang out in there all week. Tom, John, and I will be in there, and everybody, people listening are in there all week. Great place to hang out. One of my favorite places to hang out. I think we have a question. Just Charles, I think we got to do Discord.
Yeah, to be clear here, this was never a PHP podcast. This was the Eric, Tom, and John show. It just happened to be about PHP a lot of the time.
Oh yeah. This is just us shooting shit. I mean, we happen to be PHP developers. We are fans of PHP. If you didn't catch that, we're very, very passionate about PHP. But yeah, you never know what you're going to get when you get here. We're basically like hungover co-workers on a lunch break, just talking shit.
Well, see, now I have to write my bio for this this conference I'm going to be speaking at.
We gotta applaud.
And I have included the podcast in my bio, and I'm not sure if I should.
Yeah, absolutely you should. I'm proud of it. I used to be very weird about it.
Yes,
but
you did.
I'm proud of it. I mean, we've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, we put up or shut up. We admit when we're wrong. We're wrong more than we're right. But Charlton,
and if you can say anything about our podcast, every episode, the number of episodes gets higher.
That's true. Every week, it's a higher. It's
every
the most
week,
episodes.
that number goes up.
It's the most episodes we've done. Tom, look in the herd Discord. Hats off to Charlton.
Somebody kicked me out of the herd for muting somebody.
Are you not in the herd?
Oh, you kicked me out.
I didn't kick you out. I stripped you of privileges because you pissed me off.
One of those privileges being attendance.
Oh, well, yeah, that sucks for you. Maybe you shouldn't mute me so much. You apologize at any moment, and I'll
I did apologize. You know that.
Where are you at? I don't even see you on the list. Are you completely out of Discord now? There you are.
No, I'm in it.
I totally forgot about this. I totally forgot I did this. Where are you at?
You knew I was missing something.
Oh, I gotta actually add you there too, right? Are you able to see it now?
Yes, the breaking changes.
No. Look at Charleston.
Charleston joined the Patreon. Thank you very much.
And look why. He didn't want to burn up one of the questions in general. I love the way I may or may not have. A buttery, what's it say? Showcom, can I ask what complete snippet plugin you use for Vim?
Well, to answer Dev Circus's question, there was a breaking change in 8.5 that listener OFFS ran into, which was actually a bug fix, but it was fixing a not officially supported behavior. So still a breaking change.
Secret Service. Shutter suggested Secret Service. That's good. I honestly thought I was going to break down. I thought for sure I was going to slip up. I can't believe I almost shared the code. Like I haven't streamed coding like in a very long time. That was the
one you were going to stream.
It was so perfect. I'm like, this is awesome. Like I was implementing I was implementing Livewire on some components. Like I'm like, this is so old. I want to put Livewire here, but I first had to bring it up to Laravel 8, or I didn't have to bring it up to Laravel 8. I was bringing it up to Laravel 8. So I was changing a lot of the conventions that were implemented. I'm like, I got to stream this. This is perfect. And I'm like firing up the stream. I'm like, I'm in Restream. I'm like, okay, I can just share my screen here. And yeah, no, this looks perfect. I'm going to do this. And I just happened to have the browser open as I was looking at my latest change. I'm like, yeah, no, they're going to figure this out. Like, there's no way they don't figure this out. I was such an idiot. An idiot.
Let me grab a beer. 1 sec.
Yeah. Buttery. When I used one, it was VimSnip for my snippet manager in Vim. I don't know what NeoVim uses now. The package Lunar. So again, Lunar Vim is kind of the base I'm starting with, and I'm only adding, like, every time I go back and add a package that I think I need, it turns out like Lunar Vim already has it in there. And Telescope is just this absolutely amazing plugin for NeoVim. It's absolutely, I mean, it has so many features in there that every time I think I need something from my old Vim configuration, I find out it's there or it's somewhere else. So I'm resisting the urge to install old plugins. I do have a few exceptions, like the Tim Pope. He's the godfather of Vim plugins. He has a surround plugin that lets you do, change like double quotes to single quotes and things like that. I tried to hold off on that one to see if there was another replacement for it, and there wasn't. But there is a snippet manager in there, I believe. I haven't gotten back around to my snippets though, to be honest with you. So I need to look at that. But as far as like code completion. I mean, that's the whole LSP I've talked about in the past, the language server protocol that NeoVim now has built into it. That's doing a lot of the code completion. Oh, see, I said Vim too many times now. Michael Dorinda pops in. Michael Dorinda, there's a whole like Laravel strong community, I will call it, that has a Vim Discord that's awesome. I was doing so much. I decided to redo my NeoVim configuration, and Michael Dorinda, I started talking to TJ Miller. TJ Miller reached out to me, and we started going through a bunch of NeoVim configurations. And the Discord channel they had, I shared it in Discord here. I can do it again. But they have a lot. They're not NeoVim specific. They're just a bunch of Vim people who are a lot of Laravel people who are just going nuts. But yeah, it's good stuff if you're interested in that. Every time a developer types Vim, an angel loses his wings. What? Doesn't even see. I'm going to start banning people from Discord. I was liking you there, Charlton.
Can't quit.
That's it. Look at this. I drink all my scotch. Did I tell you Costco stopped carrying my scotch? That is such a crisis for me. I'm so pissed off about that.
Have I mentioned that Elon Musk is a piece of shit?
So why this time?
Oh, he's just still doing his thing. Still just being a piece of shit. Union busting and then bitching about socialism. Saying that he's a socialist. And then bitching about socialists.
But his company makes pretty cool cars. I know somebody else who just got a Tesla. Loves it. Yeah. Loves the Tesla.
His company makes cool cars, but every other company is starting to make them too. And they are going to outpace Tesla by a mile quickly.
So there's a couple things to think about there. So the new Ford F-150s, if you haven't seen these, amazing.
$40,000.
Oh my! Well, I mean, a Tesla's $40,000, but you can run your house off the F-50.
The Ford you can take it to a Ford dealer.
Right. So the friend of mine who got the Tesla, I was talking to him about the super stations, the supercharging stations or whatever. Yeah. Do you know it still takes like 2 hours to charge? Wow. That seems crazy, but I guess it's not
I talked to a friend of mine about it, and he was saying that they sort of plan trips around it. And the thing that Tesla did well was they put superchargers everywhere.
Well, so that's what I was about to say. So other companies may start to outpace Tesla from a design perspective. Well, not even design perspective, but a feature implementation perspective. And that's only because Tesla was kind of first to market on a lot of stuff, and other companies are learning from them. But Tesla is still, as far as I know, the only company that's putting that infrastructure in place, the supercharging stations and all that. They've already thought, like, Ford is thinking about their next electric car. Tesla is thinking about, their next thing beyond the car.
Yeah. But they'd be doing a lot better if it wasn't for Elon's stupid mouth. He cannot shut up. It is so bad.
I don't know what this hatred you have for Elon is.
Well, look into it. He's an asshole. But
the guy's got more money than God. I guess he can be an asshole. We had an asshole rich guy for president, so whatever.
Well, rich. Here, let's quote that one.
That's true. That's very true.
I remember he
ran
on the platform that he was a billionaire, and no one could find more than like $4 million.
People like Elon Musk and Amazon guy, and I mean, they live in a different world. I can't even begin to think that they're going to be like me or understand real world problems. I think Bill Gates might be an exception to this rule. They live in a whole nother dimension. So yes, to us, they seem like assholes or whatever. we're just not on their level. Like it's what it is. I've given it. Now obviously it becomes a problem when they start messing with other people's lives, and like you mentioned, union busting and things like that. Those are obviously issues that need to be addressed. But
saying that the vaccine is a hoax and forcing his employees to go back to work without it.
But you call them out on it, right? Because again, in their world, it makes complete sense. So they need that reality check every now and then. But
and note that his world is that of the son of an emerald mine owner from South Africa, and that he has not invented anything. He has bought other people's inventions and forced them in the contract to deny being the founders of the company. He did not found Tesla.
Business.
That's
business. Whatever.
Bought Tesla, and part of the terms of the purchase were that he.
So do you honestly feel Tesla would be what it is today had Elon Musk not gotten involved with his money, even if all he did was give money? Like if he didn't do any direction or any future thinking, do you honestly think Tesla would be where it is today if he hadn't gotten involved? It wouldn't. It wouldn't. I think
if you were to look at a D&D chart, he's chaotic evil.
I think that makes sense. That's fine.
His chaos was a huge risk for Tesla, and it paid off. But I don't think he's a forward-thinking genius. I think he has been very lucky in the acquisition he made. And
so you don't think this guy is talking about building colonies on Mars, and you don't think he's a forward-thinking person?
Well, everyone's been talking about building colonies on Mars since the 70s.
Who's closer than he is? Like he's not only talking about it, he's putting plans into action.
Right, that's not good. That's bad.
Oh, whatever, man.
That's a private citizen with enough money to found a new government on a foreign planet. That's
probably what's going to. How does it affect you? It doesn't affect you. You don't have to go live on that planet.
No, it just
if that planet decides to go to war with our planet, then yeah, maybe. If you're still around, that might be something to be concerned about. But
don't forget,
no government's going to. Matter of fact, if a government did it, it would be worse, right? Unless it was your government, of course.
Tesla has not once met its goals for car production. Not a single time has it made enough cars to sell. He overpromises, and he's gotten sued by his own shareholders. Well,
I'm telling everybody this project I'm working on is going to be awesome. All we do is overpromise. That's our role. Oh man, we're gonna have to start recording our after show rants.
Either way, he's still an asshole.
Oh, you know what? If my Dropbox isn't working, I'm not gonna have. Oh, fuck me, man! What is going on with my Dropbox? This is a real problem now because I'm not going to have this. Dropbox. Hello, app. Zencaster. Zencaster? Yep. It's not syncing. Son of a bitch. What is going on with my Dropbox? Quit it. Launch it. This is a problem. This is a real problem, Tom. Oh well. Figure this out. Oh man. Oh great. Dropbox is busted.
Shawn is saying Tesla have hit their quarterly delivery goals for the first time this year.
No. Overpromise and deliver. What's Michael Drenda doesn't think they're going to outpace Tesla. I don't think it's going to happen in the next couple of years, but I think it'll happen eventually.
Well, I don't think that one.
I think Tesla will go the way of the Studebaker. It was like well, the Studebaker first was like the one that was ahead of its time. I mean, it had seatbelts for the first time. It had all these new kind of ideas, and everybody thought it was the car of the future, which at the time it was, and then eventually it got assimilated.
Let's not forget that this week Tesla recalled every car they had in China.
I don't know what I'm gonna do about this podcast stuff. Let me see. Thanks for that installer, darling data. Sevi, was that the name Sevi? Yeah, like Chevy, but
yeah, like Chevy. No, Sevi. I think the big car manufacturers are gonna, in total, beat out Tesla. And
yeah, I think eventually that
and then I mean, one at a time they'll overtake.
I could be wrong, but didn't Tesla like open? I don't know if they open sourced it, but they released all their models around the electric car and how they're building it so that other companies could start building electric cars quicker. This was like way back when Tesla was first kind of starting up.
I vaguely remember something like that. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what the deal was.
Charlton, perfect call right there. Charlton, yeah.
Yeah, TiVo. Man,
TiVo
was brilliant for its time, but it couldn't beat the internet. Still exists though. I mean, there's still TiVo branded devices being distributed.
Oh no, Tommy did it. I don't know what that is. The Tesla. I want that F-150 bad, and I think Cadillac just came out with an all-electric car as well. It looks pretty sweet. It's more like a SUV sort of thing, but I want that F-150 bad.
Yeah, I really like the
F-150. Tesla provided all their patents without fees, is what Charlton's saying.
Yeah.
So I mean, come on, not all bad. Oh, you got it. You, Elon Musk. I'm just gonna put him on my list of people Tom hates. Elon Musk. I'm gonna put him right under Taylor Otwell. I'll just put his name there.
I don't hate Taylor. But I will say this. You know what's not patented is the plug used for charging with the Tesla chargers, the superchargers. It's not patented. It's trademarked, copyrighted.
So well, it's probably patented, but yes, it's trademark. I'm sure. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know, but yeah.
Even if
so you're saying like the new F-150s don't have the same connection, or
they're legally not allowed to use Tesla's superchargers.
I'm not as impressed with the superchargers as I originally thought I would be. I mean, I still like the idea of and this is what I'm saying. You know, Tesla is planning their infrastructure beyond the car, whereas people like Ford, Chevy, they're still working on their big electric vehicle that's going to kind of start carrying their company moving forward. So things like that supercharger station, that's what allows Tesla drivers to drive across country, right? Because they have access to them. Now, I thought in my head, for some reason, okay, these things probably charge like 15, 20 minutes. Like it's probably longer than a gas fill up, but it's probably not that much longer. The thought that you're still there for like an hour or two seems kind of kooky to me, but
there was a proposal to swap the entire battery bank out at once at these like swapping stations.
Mm-hmm.
But that fell through. And I mean, the impressive thing about the superchargers is the ubiquity of them. It's not the technology behind them.
Yeah.
So
I want one. Throw a few more solar panels on my house to offset it. But I mean, even without the supercharger stations, I mean, I don't know how it is there in Colorado, but here, like every Walmart, every CVS, every drugstore has a charge station attached to it. So
yeah, it's just for as good as people are at remembering to charge their phones, it's going to be the same problem.
Well, that's my thing. It's like if you're charging if you're good enough to charge your car every night, I mean, unless you're going on a long trip, it doesn't really matter, right? But I don't know, man.
Yeah, and
I want one. I want.
Where's the Tesla? Where's the Tesla 18-wheeler that we were promised 8 years ago?
Whatever. That reminds me. EV1, is that the Hummer? Is that the electric Hummer?
No, the EV1 is the who killed the
GM
car.
Hummer has an electric version of their electric.
Hummer's gone.
Well, they have electric. They have an electric. GM. Yeah, the Hummer SUV.
The GMC Hummer EV.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, what a piece of shit that is.
Why is that? You literally just found it. Why would you say that about that vehicle?
Well, okay. A, because Hummers were already a piece of shit. B, because the weight of that vehicle is going to destroy the value of the electrical drivetrain. And it's hideous.
It's not hideous. It looks like a regular truck.
Looks like
what's hideous about it? No, it doesn't really look like a Hummer to me. Looks more like the new Explorer to me, but whatever. You're a grumpy person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the Ford
Crab walk. It can drive diagonally. I'm sure there's a real use for that.
Parallel parking? Wouldn't that be what you would use that for?
No,
big truck like that?
Like diagonal, like not.
Oh, not sideways. You're saying?
Yeah, just diagonal, like by 30 degrees or something. Yeah, I gotta run.
All right, man. I'm trying to have a conversation with you, but you go ahead and leave. I reinstated you in Discord. So
also, the thing with battery swap was that a lot of money comes from replacing batteries. So if you could battery swap, then they wouldn't make money off of you having to replace batteries in your Tesla.
Dude, these F-150s look good. I want one of these F-150s. I keep telling John we need company cars. We literally go nowhere. We're a remote company that work from home, but man, these F-150s. You can power your house. Did I mention this? You can power your house with one of these things.
Yeah.
It acts as a generator to your home, if needed.
Well, not a generator, a power store.
Yes. Yes, you're absolutely correct.
All right, I'm going to kill the stream. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. And hey, VDO Ninja, thanks for not crashing and for actually working really well today.